I was mad at God, and I just said, I am done trying to do what's right, and I'm going to do everything that's wrong.
I was living by myself with my 2 kids, and I lost all my friends.
Just kind of like led me to believe like, oh, like God isn't real. It's not physically possible.
It was probably around 2004 or 5 that I walked away from Grace Church, and I was going through a lot of stuff with my second divorce. I drank like a fish. I tried drugs. I was done. I was mad at God, and I was done.
I'm from the Philippines, born and raised Catholic, and then I was very active in church when I was growing up. I will never miss Sunday, because when I miss Sunday, I feel so incomplete. And then I got married. I came to the United States 23 years ago, and my first husband, he said he's Lutheran, but he never went to church, he never believed in God.
When I was 2, my mom and my biological dad got a divorce, and my mom was basically a single mom raising me and my brother practically on her own. My dad, he had a big influence on me for whatever reason, and he's a smart guy, but his mind is all based on logic and like just what's physically possible and everything.
I met Arlene at work, and we really didn't do a lot of dating. She dealt with all my drinking and all the stuff that I did. And I'm just surprised, because only God could have had his hand on that, because I wasn't a nice person.
He goes to the bar with his friends, and then I go home, and then late at night, I'll be calling him, he's still at the bar. And I was not feeling good because he's not home. I don't know if he's gonna come home one piece, and then all I was doing was pray for him to get home safely.
I remember even when I was a little girl, I would sometimes go downstairs and I would see Alan and all his friends like sitting at the poker table drinking and having fun, and they would be loud and just up all night, and I never realized like how bad it was for him.
I drive by here every day in front of Grace Church to go to work.
She was the one that started prompting me about churches. And I basically told her I wasn't going to church anymore. And early in our relationship, I told her what I believed. I told her I knew that Jesus died for me. I accepted that many years ago, and I knew I was going to heaven. And I just told her I was mad at God and I wasn't going. I was done. And she kept prompting me to, and she wanted to go. And I said, well, if you want to go to a church that's good, then you need to go to Grace Church. Try it out.
So I decided to come to church. I didn't even invite him, but I dragged my daughter with me.
When my mom started going to church, for me personally, it was kind of weird for me because I never grew up in a church, and so I didn't really know what to expect. And it was forced, so of course I didn't like it.
I felt so home, I felt so comfortable. Everyone was so friendly.
She loved it, and I asked her who was preaching, and she told me. And she wasn't sure if it was Rick, and I said, well, let me look it up. And so I got on the internet and looked it up and found out, yeah, that's Rick.
So I came back the following weekend. He said, I'm not going. I dragged my daughter again. Yes, and then my daughter, she had told me before that she never believed in God. She said she believed in science. A couple weeks later, my husband, he told me, you know, I'm working late at night. I can start going back to church.
I think I sat in those pews for a couple of months and just cried. I felt guilty and ashamed, but sitting through those services and just knowing that God didn't care, he still loved me, and he was going to accept me. So I decided that this time around, I'm all in. So I'm starting small. I decided, altitude was a good place to start. The boys are young. I'll get to move along with them as they grow, and hopefully they won't make the same mistakes that I made.
My freshman year of high school, I was going to every single football game on every Friday night. And then it reached a point where my mom was just like, if you don't go to Wednesday night church, you don't go to Friday night football. And so next thing I knew, football season was over and I continued to come anyways because I met so many new people and it just became a family to me. So I kept going every Wednesday, and then they forced me to go to summer camp too. And the day of the baptism, they gave me a final chance, even though I didn't sign up to get baptized. They gave me another offer to get baptized after everyone else did. And I was still on the fence about it, so I decided if I'm on the fence, I must not be ready. When I'm ready, I'll know. And so then that night, our youth pastor gave a new message and we were all bawling our eyes out. And I told Heidi, like, when's our next baptism? And she was just like, we can do it now.
It is our pleasure to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
If you're a teenager sitting in this room and you're wondering if you should go to Altitude or if it's the place for you, come this next Wednesday and we will welcome you and make you feel home.
When you get to greet people next to you, I don't know, it feels so good. It feels, these are the people, like, they are my family, my church family.
I think God was looking after me all those years, and I think He put Arlene there, and He used her to get back to me. And so, in conclusion, I'm here, I'm back, I'm home.